Hello, my name is Josh Scabland, and today we're going to be talking about Dante from Dante's Inferno, and what I call Dante and the Damned Pope. Many of us are familiar with Dante through his poetry or his great work entitled Dante's Inferno. But today we're going to be discussing three individuals: Dante, Pope Boniface, and Charles of Valois. We need to remember that Dante was born in Florence. Dante loved writing from a young age. He was inspired to write through poetry, as well as writing about his first love, Beatrice. Dante's works have inspired many different things, both in his time and in our present day and age. One of those things, as I researched, that I found quite interesting was Dante influenced many of the future art in Western culture with his descriptions of hell and the afterlife. As I was researching, I also found something interesting, which was his influence on today's culture in a musical act called A Breath Upwards, which was featured in the New York Times. But we need to be discussing about his time in Florence. Dante not only loved writing, but he also practiced a lot in politics. Dante was a part of a group called the Guelphs. Dante saw that there was a fissure within the Guelphs, the White Guelphs and the Black Guelphs. Dante ended up becoming a White Guelph and following the footsteps of his father. This is important to remember, as Pope Boniface was a Black Guelph. Pope Boniface not only was the Pope at the time, but Pope essentially meant he was emperor and essentially the supreme leader of Italy and had a lot of sway and control over the population at that time. So when France came knocking at the door of Florence, that did not go over well with the White Guelphs and for Dante. So what did Dante do? Dante decided that he was going to go out and speak to Pope Boniface about this. He wanted to solve he wanted to solve their problem with words other than violence. But what did Pope Boniface do? He entrusted he entrusted the situation with Charles of Valois. To better understand Charles of Valois, we need to remember, or we need to learn, that Charles of Valois loved power, and he wanted power. Charles of Valois was the third born of Philip III in France. He wanted to be a ruler. He tried more than once to become and rule the kingdoms such as the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of Sicily. This is something that Pope Boniface, I'm sure, saw and recognized as he promised Charles of Valois that he would be a leader if he was able to solve the problem in Florence. So, as Dante was going to see Pope Boniface had already sent Charles of Valois to Florence to solve the problem. What ended up happening is while Dante was speaking with Pope Boniface's administration, Charles of Valois essentially handed over Florence to France, and France allowed for Black Guelphs to become the rulers of Florence. Dante was very frustrated with this. As he was returning back, he didn't even know initially that this is what had happened. As he's returning back home to Florence, he finds out that because the Black Guelphs are now in power, he is now exiled. He is not allowed to be in Florence as he will be exiled, which to me means he can't go there or he will be killed. So, this is how these men are intertwined. Their fates and destinies met together at this point. So what does Dante do? Does he roll over? Does he go, you know what, Charles of Valois, you know what, Pope Boniface, you win? No. This is where he writes Dante's Inferno. So it is important to ask ourselves, who actually won in this situation? In this historical context, who won? Well, it's safe to say that Dante, as he did when he was traveling to see the Pope, decided to use words instead of violence. While he was exiled, that is when he wrote Dante's Inferno. And as we read in Canto 19, Dante is very explicit in what he does and shows happens to the Pope and other frauds of that time. They will be damned. And that's why I've labeled and titled this assignment, this presentation, as Dante and the Damned Pope. Dante's impact that he had with Dante's Inferno goes to show that you can make a good situation and have positive influence even on a situation that isn't ideal for you. So, as we reflect on how Dante reacted to his situation, we also can use this in our own lives. We can make a bad situation into a good situation. Sometimes we have to go through hell to get to paradise. And maybe we shouldn't be as petty as Dante was when it came to his reaction to Pope Boniface. But all in all, Dante did not do anything that ill-willed towards Pope Boniface other than writing one of the greatest works of Western literature ever put to paper. These are all of the different sources that I used to create the synopsis of this classical event. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you to Professor Clough for allowing me to do this project, as well as the Columbia University Library for allowing me to use my girlfriend's account to research this assignment. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.